Hi guys, Demi here. So if you really like the idea of solving Africa's economic problems, but still want to see a thriving private sector, then I think it's time to rethink how we use debt and assets. To fully grasp Nigeria, for instance, and its economic crisis, we need to break down the numbers into a few key areas. You've probably heard of the debt to GDP ratio. Think of it like a credit score for a country. It shows how much debt that we have compared to the size of our economy. For a healthy economy, we should aim for a ratio below 40%. But Nigeria, guys, has a debt to GDP ratio which jumped to 42% in 2023 to a staggering 52% in 2024. Even worse, the amount that we owe in international debt has skyrocketed from $10 billion in 2015 to $42 billion as of today. And it's still growing. And here's the problem, guys. A lot of this debt isn't being used to create new jobs or to build industries. It's actually going towards keeping the government running, keeping the country running. This is where we're getting it wrong, guys. Let's look at the core issue itself. Nigeria, for instance, is borrowing just to pay bills instead of investing in things that will grow our economy. Now, imagine taking out a loan to pay your house rent or to buy groceries. I know it sounds ridiculous, right? And it's certainly not sustainable. We need to stop borrowing for day-to-day expenses and start using our borrowing to build industries like manufacturing, like agriculture, and exports, things that actually create jobs and generates revenue. So what are the things that actually need to change? What are the solutions? The number one solution is let's stop borrowing for recurrent expenses. Instead, let's invest in projects that will boost our economy, like agriculture or industries and projects with export potential, for instance, manufacturing of high value products. Then number two is financialization of our idle assets. Now, many of you have not really heard me talk about financialization as a solution. And although I do have these conversations behind the scenes, I've not really brought it to you guys. And it's really because I really wanted to educate myself a little bit more and really get a grasp of it, because we're all aware that we have a huge amount of wastage here in Nigeria. And if you look at Saudi Arabia, for instance, and what they did with ARAMCO, they literally turned their oil company into a global giant, reshaping their economy in what seemed like it was overnight. Now, Nigeria has similar opportunities to do the same with its underutilized assets, like our government real estate. We see them everywhere, every day, just sitting there, either not being used at all or completely underutilized. Dormant oil refineries across the country, unused agricultural land just sitting there, gathering weed. We could, guys, unlock this value through smart financing and partnerships. And I'm curious as to why we're not having these conversations across industries, amongst entrepreneurs, business people, private sector, and really just engaging ourselves in this dialogue. Because as an entrepreneur, we're constantly looking for funding. And if you really ask me, a lot of this funding is towards investing in assets that will enable us and allow us to do good business. So if we're able to tap into the underutilized idle assets already sitting in the country, doesn't that exponentially reduce the amount of cash injections that our businesses need? It certainly will take a lot off our cash flow. right? And our outflows. So why are we not having more of these conversations? The truth of the matter is, guys, if we want a better future for Africa, if we want a better future for our business environment, if we want a better future for our people, we can't keep borrowing without a plan to make profit, exponential profit, to plow back into the system, into the businesses. It's time that we focus on projects that create real sustainable growth long term. Let's stop borrowing to stay afloat. Government, let's think more strategically. Let's tap into the resources we already have sitting, doing nothing. Let's leverage the serious entrepreneurs who are on ground, who are serious about doing the work that is required. Let's have dialogue with them. Let's find out what it is that they need, and let's see how we can bridge the gap, how we can connect the dots between what they need and what is sitting already on ground. To alleviate a lot of this stress, let's start building things to last with a sustainability plan. Guys, what do you think? Share your thoughts with me, educate me. As I'm sharing with you, please feel free to also give me your own insights from your own purview, where you're sitting, where you know, your vantage points. I really want to hear from you. And as per usual, guys, please do take care of yourself. And don't forget to be extraordinary in the way that only you can be. Bye, guys.